Alright, welcome everybody to the PCDC Motorsports ACC League. Sorry for the slight delay there, but I got a Windows update yesterday and that messed all of my audio settings up, so I had to set them all back up. I probably should have checked that before the race, but anyway, this is how we roll, and directing and commentary will be done today by me, Senna Stoffmail. So before we go to the race, let's take a quick look at the track we got in front of us. Today we're coming to the legendary Autodromo Nazionale di Monza in Italy, obviously in Monza. The track features 11 turns, is 5.793 kilometers long or 3.600 miles long. Obviously a couple of very famous corners on this track, just a legendary track overall, featuring Ascari and Parabolica, of course. The race format for today will be a 110-minute warm-up, which has already come to the close, the 15-minute qualifying, which we're getting into now, and the 90-minute race. We'll have one mandatory pit stop where the drivers have free choice of tires and fuel. So you will see a lot of different strategies today. Very likely that we'll see a lot of varying strategies, fuel and tire wise. The calendar, take a quick look at that as well. We are at Monza today, and next week we're going to the Nürburgring, and we still have two really great tracks coming up as well further on in the season, being Bathurst and Kyalami to finish off the season. Also take a quick look at the championship standings so far. So we have Vincent Erbrich in first, Van den Hudding in second, Wansink in third, Rojovic being the first Pro-Am in fourth, so doing a really good job there. Marcus Lawrence, last time around, didn't really have the best time. Had a lot of trouble at the end of Silverstone with his tires, and this does see him drop back with a bad result there to 5th. Duploy in 6th, Osman in 7th, then a couple of Pro-Ams being Dami Person and Vozarik in 9th. Then we have Kevin Wang being the first Am driver, so also doing a really good job. We've seen some good consistency from Kevin Wang, has put in some good efforts, and that shows in his positioning in the standings. Then we have the Knecht in 11th. In 12th we have Zanfrescu. And I will have to rush through the rest of these quite a bit since we're a bit late for quali now. So Layson in 13th. Van Laar in 14th. Pettit in 15th. Dijkstra in 16th. Daniels in 17th. Villa in 18th. Wall in 19th. Parnell in 20th. Hill in 21st, Hager in 22nd, Harby in 23rd, and in 24th, Levente. And we move on, Fonseca in 25th, Zach in 26th, which I'm pretty sure Zach needs an H at the end, so sorry for that one. 27th, we have Robert Jan de Jong. The reason some of these Pro and Pro-Am drivers are might be further down is because they might have not been able to do a lot of the races, or just haven't joined much of the races yet. So if any of them are racing today, you will probably see them jump up a bit more. So yeah, Venter then 28th, 29th Friedrich, Bunty in 30th, Chernev in 31st and 32nd. Lambert, and to round off the entire standing is Castro in 33rd. So straight to qualifying now. No more time wasting as the drivers are on their first laps. Let's take a look here as we are currently on board with, or not on board, but looking at Venter in the Ferrari. Coming down the back straight here, heading into Parabolica, putting in the first time. I think that is Domi Person ahead of him. So let's see here. What are going to be the first benchmark times? Right, so the Knecht and Arnsman they're putting in a 148.1 with the Knecht being about 1.5 seconds off, so well done on their part. Seems that Venter didn't get a clean lap in there. But look here. Villa's still in the pit. What else to take a look at here? Miguel Fonseca. Miguel Fonseca, one of the only Aston Martins in the league at the moment, I think. So, really strange to see the Aston Martin underrepresented, because we all know, obviously, it's a very strong pick, the Aston. Just overall a very, very strong car to be in. But let's see what Fonseca can do here with his first lap out. Running up to the line. Puts him in 10th, about 5.7 seconds behind. Obviously, we will see people dropping down, I think, in the times. Meanwhile, let's take a look back at the front so far. So Thomas Arensman still in front with that 48.1. Runs a bit wide there on his second lap, so that's going to be invalidated. Let's move straight on to Samuel Falkenberg then, in the Ferrari. Opted to switch to the newly released Evo Ferrari, or Ferrari Evo. That has just been released with the World GT pack, with together with Imola and the Mercedes Evo, and also a bunch of skins, of course. Falkenberg looking to improve, but so far not gaining any time yet. As we see a bit further back, we have Smelt in 6th there, Rojovic. Chmielewski, also a returning face. But Chmielewski here in the Lambo, one of the only Lambos as well on the grid, I think. So that's quite a shame, because I personally like seeing the Lambos going around, but yeah, so Chmielewski about 0.9 seconds off of the lead time there, with Lawrence putting in a 47.6 for a provisional pole there. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat there. We have a couple of bots in there, so I have modded. If Vincent is there in the chat, I have modded you, so you're able to ban these bots if at all possible. But Chmielewski in 4th. Let's see a bit further back as well. Look at people improving. Chmielewski, though, looking at a 6/10 improvement, 7/10 now. Coming through Parabolica, he has the slipstream of the car ahead there, of the Lexus. Looking good here, looking really good to improve. There we go, up into 2nd place. Had a little bit of assistance there with the slipstream, but regardless, very good time there. So 147.6 is the benchmark at the moment. Here, Christian Venter, also looking at a very solid improvement, 0.6 seconds up. Alright, Corey, I have made you mod, so you are now able to get rid of those bots if you want to. Thank you very much for the help, by the way. But yeah, if you're asking if I'm looking forward to the race, I actually am looking forward to the race today, because it has been, well, I can't remember the last time that PCDC actually ran Monza on ACC, so I'm very excited for this race, and Monza always makes for good racing. Meanwhile, Venter puts himself up into 9th place. Take a look a bit further back here, Domi Person. Around Parabolica here. Also looking at a 7/10 improvement, so that'll move it up quite a bit, up into maybe 11th. Yeah, there we go. 11th place for Domi Person so far. Let's take a look at Hila as well, and the Porsche. Obviously, I assume the Porsches will do a bit worse here than normally, because we all know the Porsches struggle quite a bit on top speed on most tracks. I don't know how the BOP is done on Monza, but on most tracks the Porsche aren't the best on the straight. Also, slight improvement there, up into 10th, 1.3 seconds off the leader. Take a look here, back towards the front. Marcus Lawrence with a 2/10 improvement, 147.4, which will separate him by 4/10 with the 2nd place. So that gives him a bit more security here, as we have 4 minutes of qualifying left. Let's take a look back, a bit further towards the back. Mid-pack, I should say, Justin Dijkstra. Also looking at a very, very nice improvement here. 6/10 up at the moment as he goes through the chicane here. Or, not through the chicane, Ascari. Oh, but he actually loses it through Ascari. Obviously a very treacherous corner, Ascari. If you hit the curbs wrong, and those anti-cuts, especially if you hit those wrong, your lap can, and your race, of course, can completely be ended. Good thing for him, this is only qualifying, so he can still replace his car with a new one. Don't want to see what kind of budgets these teams have in virtual racing to pull out all of these extra cars. Yeah, Shy Block, it should be an awesome show. Obviously, the only thing we can say that we hope to avoid is obviously the T1 pileup that is very accustomed in Monza. But I don't know. I think I have faith in our drivers today that they'll manage through. But yeah, Monza, again, makes for very good racing. We have those long straights that make it so that even if let's say 2nd place, or any position for that matter, is 2/10 or so off of the next car, they can still keep up, just because they have the slipstream on the main straight. So if you are within 2/10 of someone, that might not be detrimental, because on other tracks you might, have struggle following people, but on Monza, obviously one of the easier tracks to make a move on someone, even if you are maybe the slower driver. Let's see here. Most of the people on track aren't improving anymore, so I think most people here got their best lap in with 1 minute 30 to go. People will be starting their last laps now if they come across the line. So Vozarik with an improvement there. Manages to put in a 49.1. Puts him up into 11th place. Very good there. It does, oh, I was gonna say, it does look like he outbraked himself into turn 1 there, but I think he got it spot on, because he gained 3/10 through there. So, very nicely done. A bit further towards the back, Ryan Daniels here. in the Audi. So Ryan decided to switch, I think, to the Audi for this race. Obviously, how our league works is that you can change car, but obviously if you change car, you would need to have some kind of penalty attached to it, so you can't just select the best car for every track. So what we opt for is a complete reset of your points for the season. So you can select new cars, but you will lose all your points in the process. But Ryan Daniels, up into 16th, does seem to be struggling a little bit then there with the Audi. Obviously, probably didn't get too much practice in with it yet, so there. One else improving, again back to Christian Venter. Looking at a 0.3 improvement so far. He's only about halfway through the lap. Let's see here if he can nail Ascari. Not looking too bad. 0.3 up so far. Coming down that long straight then, heading into Parabolica. Most of the people now finishing off their laps, most of the drivers coming into the pits. See Venter here, it's a good run out of Parabolica. Coming up to the line, see where he puts himself here. 5th position, so very nice. Top 5 qualifying there for Christian Venter so far. Unless someone would take that off of him, but it seems highly unlikely at this point. Looking further back, no one is really improving. Looks like we have about 28 drivers lining up today, so for the race, which is nice to see. And no improvement so far. Let's have a quick look around here with Lambert, Yvan Lambert. There we go, so that was qualifying. Everyone got their times in. And we will take a small 5-minute break now, as you can see on the stream, and then we will be back with a full grid rundown for you guys. So we'll see you in a bit. Alright, welcome back everybody to the PCDC ACC League and GT3 League here. So, as the drivers are on the formation lap now, we'll do a quick grid rundown for you here. So in first place in the Honda we have Marcus Lawrence. Behind him we have Adam Chiwalowski in the Lamborghini, the only Lamborghini on the grid, I am pretty sure. Then in third we have Thomas Arensman. And Jordan Wansink in fourth, so in the top four, 3 Hondas, so a lot of competition there for Chmielowski. Christian Venter in 5th, Valkenburg in 6th, Deploy in 7th, Rojovic in 8th, Jasper Smelt in 9th, Villa in 10th, Simon Vozarik in 11th, Domi Persson in the Lexus in 12th, Yvon Lambert in 13th, McKnecht in 14th, Ryan Daniels in 15th, Dijkstra in 16th. In 17th we have Max van Laar. In 18th we have Hager. We have Reeve in 19th. Oh, with another Lamborghini actually, so haven't heard the name Reeve yet, Jack Reeve. So he must have also joined from this week. Brian Pettit in 20th. 21st we have Peter Parnell. 22nd we have Zanfrescu. George Pribil in 23rd. Daryl Hill in 24th. Evan Wang in 25th. In the McLaren, as the cameraman is struggling to lock onto the car. In 26th we have Jonathan Wall, also in the McLaren. Jake Davenport in 27th, I don't think he put a time in. And then Miguel Fonseca is in the pit in 28th, so yeah, don't know what went on with Miguel, but he will be starting from the pit, I assume. So going back to our leader here, everyone's still furiously warming up their tires. Even though at Monza here it's a nice 26 degrees that you can see in the top right. And the track is actually 33 degrees, so I don't think those tires will need any warming once we're up to full race pace. We'll see now before Parabolica here. We'll have all our drivers bunching up. Very good thing ACC allows for people to drive through each other before the green flag, and our drivers will get up to the limiter speed here soon, and then we'll wait for the green flag. Again, can't wait here for what will unravel at Monza. 1 hour and 30-minute race. So a lot of time for our drivers. And let's see here as we wait for the green flag. Should be any second now. Oh, it's a bit further up, isn't it? There we go. A very late green light there. And Adam Chiwalowski gets a very good run up to turn 1, so caught Marcus Lawrence off a little bit. Gonna defend the inside as the pack makes its way down to turn 1. Let's take a look here. So, Chmielowski, very good job there. Oh, already a punt there into turn 1. Drivers taking evasive action. Oh, a lot of carnage, But, what is new at Monza? A lot of drivers rejoining there. Oh, that's a shame to see. I would have loved to see for once that a pack of competitor drivers gets to turn 1. Cleanly, but that is not to be, I think, today, as the timings on the left are sorting themselves out a little bit, so you will see them shifting around quite a bit. There we go. So Marcus Lawrence did manage to take P1 back off of Adam Chiwalowski, so he must have missed that, but Chmielowski obviously still in the slipstream there. Someone getting a very good run through all of that, I think, is Samuel Falkenberg. So up into 4th position here, so very good job on his part. Being on the lucky end, I think. Also take a bit of a look a bit further back here. There's a lot of battles going on through Ascari. Hager getting put off a little bit there by the BMW of Jasper Smelt. They run down to Parabolica. We also have Thomas Arensman and Jordan Wansink, who have both dropped back from the start of the race there. So yeah, it does seem Monza T1 still has that reputation and it's going to hold on to it. It is very tricky, of course, in ACC. Cold brakes, cold tires, coming into that turn 1, your brake distance is going to be quite a bit longer than you expect. But obviously, we do should expect a bit more there. Thomas Arensman as well, tapping someone off in the Bentley was also questionable. We're not going to pull up replays just yet, but questionable there. We will see. Back towards the front, it does seem that Marcus Lawrence is starting to open up a little bit of a gap to Chmielewski. So looking very stable once again. Marcus Lawrence really feeling at ease here with that Honda. I think he's put a lot of practice into it and really pays off, I think. We'll check up on that a bit later here. Next quite close battle here is between Venter, Falkenberg, and Rojovic. Nice little train there coming down to Ascari as they'll head onto the back straight. Venter there does seem to get a bit of a better run down to Parabolica. Question is now, what can Falkenberg and Rojovic do coming out of Parabolica that will be in the slipstream? Obviously, Rojovic will have the biggest benefit as Falkenberg there outbrakes himself, so we'll have to go the long way around. Actually gets a bit of an oversteer moment as well. He'll drop back into 5th position, and Rojovic will move himself up into 4th. So yeah, that Ferrari sometimes a bit treacherous with the back end, obviously being a mid-engined car. Oh, Rojovic outbraked himself there. Taps Venter off. And then also cuts across the pylons there, or whatever you should call them. So Rojovic does let Venter back through, acknowledges this, it was his mistake, so I did a little bit of a mistake there, but good to see the sportsmanship coming off. Let's see here, a bit further back as well, Christian Duploy fighting against Christoph Hager here. Going into the chicane, oh, you don't want to be too wide there. They do make it through cleanly. It's Hager back up into... oh no, Deploy back up into 18th, I'm sorry. So let's see here. So Jordan Wansink has already made a pit stop, so he must have had some heavy damage. Which is a shame. Take a look here, let's see if we can get Jordan Wansink. Yeah, so Jordan Wansink already took a pit stop there. This will probably see him take another pit stop towards the end for a bit of fuel. Which is gonna be a shame. But yeah, I suppose he had some damage to fix there from the initial T1 carnage, and will now try to make his way back up the field. Again here, Ryan Daniels. Ooh, Ryan Daniels with big damage. Surely he has to come into the pit. We saw the lights flickering there. This usually means you're losing electronic power, so this battery is probably draining more power than it's actually generating. And he's only going to lose positions this way. He's going to lose tons of times on the straight, or tons of time on the straight, I should say. Yeah, you can see there that that hood is almost falling off there. It's coming loose. So he'll have to come in to the pit for repairs, I'm sure. Because, I don't know if it'll be beneficial if he tries to draw out the stint here. Another look here. So we have the likes in 13th here, Max van Laar in the McLaren. Has a Zamfarescu in front of him in the Porsche, and Peter Parnell there with the Pineapple Bentley right behind them. So Parnell doing a good job here in 14th, obviously one of the tracks where Parnell will be a bit more comfortable than maybe some of the other tracks. He is used to Monza, he knows Monza, so might pull out a nice move here, as we do see someone here going, ooh! Wow, that was a bad rejoin there from, I think that was Venter. Yeah, so let's take a quick look at that, and it looks like that is going to be another terrible rejoin with that Porsche behind him. Again, a bit sorry for the hang-up here. We do use custom liveries in our league, and for some reason they make it that the stream hangs up a little bit. So yeah, so it seems that he got very wide on Ascari, and then just for no reason at all swerves over to the right side of the track and takes Zamfarescu out. So see here as well. Oh, I want to say he probably took out another person there, so you can see there his tire is just dragging along there. Very bad rejoin from Venter. That'll surely see him getting a penalty. I can't imagine otherwise. That was a terrible rejoin there. But back towards good battling here. Samuel Falkenberg versus Rojovic. So Falkenberg holding on to third now, for now. So doing a very good job here. I think Falkenberg didn't start up this close to the top three, so he's putting in a good performance here. But Rojovic isn't done with him. Again, coming out of Parabolica, I do believe the Lexus has the top speed over the Ferrari. So let's see here what Rojovic can do. He has lost quite a bit of time on this lap. You can just see here from the onboard how much time the Lexus actually gains on the straights is it's quite impressive. Then you see as well Ferrari just gets that initial traction out of the initial traction and acceleration out of the corner. So every car has its own strengths, of course, and they're quite nicely matched here. Let's see here. Meanwhile, I was talking about Peter Parnell earlier. Manages to put himself up into P10 so far. So Peter Parnell here doing a good job so far for Pineapple Racing there. Really nice livery on the Bentley. It's doing a good job. Pulled clear a bit of Jake Davenport behind him, and now about 4 seconds, almost 5 seconds behind Jasper Snell. But we'll see if he actually can make up some time, because he is improving his lap time. So looking fairly strong today here, Peter Parnell. A bit of a further look back here as well. We have Hilla with Wang and Deploy behind. So Deploy here, I think, trying a move here on Kevin Wang. Kevin Wang will slot in back behind him, as Kevin Wang got a really bad run out of the previous corner there. And Christian takes advantage of that as Hilla runs wide there. Surely Deploy has has enough overspeed to try to move here, but Hilla does look like he has a lot of damage on his car, so a lot of scrapes and knocks all over that car. Oh man, Kevin Wang up the inside there, very optimistic move. And he does wait for Hilla to get going again, so again, good to see the sportsmanship, and hopefully he can work those mistakes out over time. But always good to see the sportsmanship, of course. Now, another battle here. Domi Person has Christoph Hager here behind him. As they came out of turn 1 there, they're going to go side by side. Hager is going to try it up the inside, but surely not showing that nose. Domi does leave a bit of space there, but ideally you don't want to go side by side through the chicane there, because that is just, I mean, that can't work out for any car if you try to do that. Ooh, Bentley getting a bit loose there. Christoph Hager. Almost a disaster for him there as he gets a bit of oversteer there coming out of the corner. And, man, oh man, good save though by Christoph Hager. Good to see. And, take a look back there. Jack Reeve has gotten a stop and go 30 seconds. So, if I remember correctly, stop and goes are only for pit infringements, so this will probably be because he sped into the pit or sped out of the pit or forgot his speed limit or any of those. That's gonna give you a stop and go, because else if it's track limits, you just get a drive-through. So yeah, shame for Jack there, but again, he still has an hour and 16 minutes here to make up all that time. Oh, another battle here. Again, Domi Person and Christoph Hager. Switch to the helicam here to see. Wow, a lot of overspeed for Hager there. Is Domi gonna concede? He's gonna try and keep it on the inside. Ooh, very shaky through there, both of them. I think both of them were very concerned with leaving each other space a bit too much there, and that just made it one of those awkward moments where both of the drivers kind of are at a loss of what to do in the corner. But Hager gets that move done. Obviously, he won't get rid of Person that easily, because that Lexus is just a beast on the straight. So yeah, good job so far from these guys. And let's take a quick look back to the front here. So Marcus Lawrence, again, very comfortable here. Just looking very comfortable in that Honda, and it's paying off. About 5.3 seconds ahead of Chmielewski. So really putting in some good work here. Obviously, one of the things we will keep an eye on is tire wear throughout the stint, because, I mean, last time at Silverstone, the Hondas were really struggling on tire wear. Don't know if this again will be an issue. Monza, obviously, very easy on the tires. The only very stressful part, I think, is the last sector probably for the cars, while Silverstone is very stressful for the tires overall. Monza is quite nicely surfaced, not that abrasive. But yeah, as I was saying, the Hondas are very bad on the rear tires. And I think last time in Silverstone, one of the worst cases I've ever seen of tire wear was Marcus Lawrence almost ice skating through the race there. As those rear tires just went throughout his stint, he lost control completely over the car and got back from first place to, I think it was, I don't know, I want to say 6th or 7th place. So that'll be interesting to see. Maybe Chmielewski can make something work with that. That being said, the Lambo also not the best on the rear tires. Also struggles a lot with the rear tires. So both of these cars very similar traits, but both cars very good on the straights. So we'll see how that works out. Meanwhile here, we still have Samuel Falkenberg and Rojovic going at it. Now pulls side by side, Rojovic on the outside. Hard move to make here. Obviously the grip is on the inside here. And for now, Falkenberg will hold on. Again, go on board here with the Lexus just so you can see how much power the Lexus has on the straight. You just see that gap closing with the slipstream especially. Just look at that, how much speed it gains. Gonna try up the inside. Ooh, bit of contact there. Doesn't matter too much. Rojovic keeps going. I think Falkenberg keeps going as well, so not too much harm done. Again, corner is very tricky for overtakes. Turn 1 requires a lot of patience and respect from both drivers to not make contact there, so... Obviously, that being said, because there is contact, it doesn't mean that both of them aren't respectful, but... It definitely requires patience to both get through there cleanly. Take another look here. Ryan Daniels has, ooh, I want to say Domi Person behind him there, so... Oh no, that is MDK. Ah, yes, Martin de Knecht. So, both of them looking really good. Ryan Daniels' last lap was a 53.9. I don't know, that'll probably be a lap of traffic or something. Or no, obviously Daniels still running with that damage. I think what Daniels is doing here is probably trying to just stretch out his stint here, so he can take his pit stop and just run towards the end. But oh, Daniels just, oh man, struggling there as he goes in. Did he avoid the barrier? I don't know, but yeah, that damage isn't making it any easier for Daniels there. Obviously, I think we will see him going, I assume, for about 5-10 more minutes until he can get in the fuel range, and then we'll probably see him coming in for a pit stop to fix up his car and try and make something of it. But meanwhile, again here, Peter Parnell just making moves today, looking really good on track. So he now goes side by side with Davenport. Davenport up the inside, good under braking there. Peter Parnell will just slot in behind him. Obviously, we all know, I think at some points it's actually better at Monza to just let the car that tries to overtake you, if it's under braking, to just let them overtake you, slot in behind, pick up that slipstream for next lap, and just try your move again then. And then try to pull away through that next lap. That's basically what Monza is. You just use the start-finish straight for the slipstream, get your move done in turn 1, and then try to create enough of a gap in the next lap to hold on to that position. But yeah, Parnell doing really good here, battling for 8th. So the race has settled down a little bit here. Let's take a look at some people we haven't taken a look at yet. Here we have Pettit in 12th with, I think that is Venter behind him, if I'm not mistaken. Venter obviously being lapped here because he had to go in for repairs after that rejoin he did. So yeah, that's a shame. But Pettit, yep, just running in 12th. Nothing to mention here, as he'll get... Venter will unlap himself, but at this point Venter is 3 laps behind, so... I mean, I can't imagine him not having a lot of damage from that impact. But Venter slowly making his way up again, and let's see if he can still make something of his race. You have Ryan Daniels and Christian Deploy here in a battle. Ryan here is still in 15th, so hasn't lost too much here. So let's hope he can get into the pit sooner rather than later. Fill up his car, get all that damage repair, and let's see what what he can actually make of it. So, by the looks of it, doesn't seem like he's lost too much power, but man, can't be good for the car, that's for sure. A lot of extra drag with that hood coming up like that. So as the grid is now spread out a little bit, we'll probably get an onboard lap here soon with our leader Marcus Lawrence, who's still slowly pulling away from Chmielewski, so 6.3 seconds at the moment. It does seem that in the last 5 to 10 minutes, Lawrence has had a harder time gapping Chmielewski, so have a lot of time in the initial opening laps there, but Chmielewski maybe getting into more of a rhythm here, and like I said again, maybe Marcus Lawrence starting to struggle a little bit on those tires. We'll have to see how that pans out. See here again, Ryan Daniels still has deploy on him here, as they've just come out of Ascari, heading into Parabolica on the brakes. Good run there, I think, for Ryan Daniels. Let's see what deploy is doing here. But surely he'll be too far back here. Let's see actually if the Audi has lost any power on the straight. It doesn't look like it. So, yeah, looking at that, I don't think the Audi has actually lost a lot of speed on the top end there. So that's a good thing for Daniels. Good thing Monza is only straights basically, so hopefully he's not losing too much time here. He doesn't have to use his downforce too much, so that's a plus for him, I guess. Another battle here. I think Vozarek just overtook Dijkstra here, coming into Ascari. Very good job there, Vozarek, in the very flashy, kind of, not really gold, but kind of a chrome yellow, together with that gloss yellow or metallic yellow. Very different paint job from most of the grid. But yeah, good overtaking move on Dijkstra there. But, you know, worth mentioning here, Justin Dijkstra is in the AM class, and is managing to put his car up into 6th position here. So, yeah, doing a really good job so far. And likewise there, Davenport. Jake Davenport also doing a really good job here in the Lexus with that very flashy Lexus as well. So yeah, 2 AMs in the top 10, which is quite nice to see there. Alright, let's take another look back towards the front here with Marcus Lawrence. As he comes down to Parabolica, we're going to take a quick lap on board with him and see how he navigates himself through a lap here. Alright, so that was a lap on board there with Marcus Lawrence. And looking very comfortable there, as I think we have Vincent Erbrich joining us.
Yes, indeed. Hello, Husky.
Hello.
Hope you have been doing good on that first part of the stream.
Yeah, it's been very good. How is your it's your birthday, right?
Yes.
Ah, very happy birthday then.
Thank you so much. It's going to be very public.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone can wish you a happy birthday now after the race. But yeah, the race has been going good. T1 was a bit of a mess on lap 1, so a bit of a shame. But we currently have Marcus Lawrence in the lead with Chmielewski behind him. Don't know, have you managed to join the server yet? For,
Yes,
spectating?
I'm in the spectator view.
Alright. So, I mean, a shame that you had to miss Monza, because I think it's one of the only times we've done Monza so far in our league.
Yes, thankfully I will be racing tomorrow, but so I'll have my fair share of that circuit, which is not easy one to push at. You need to be so concentrated all the time to be fast.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. I think it's one of those tracks where a lot of people look at it and think, well, Monza's a simple track, you know, just a bunch of straights. But yeah, if you look at corners like Ascari and just the chicanes and stuff, there's so much time that you can lose and gain in both places.
Because you have to make full use of the curb, and over the curbs, if you get your line wrong just 1 centimeter, sometimes it can mean death or losing 1 second.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as we've been going for about half an hour here, the race has settled down a little bit. There's a couple of people that already made their pit stop since they had damage, so I assume they will have to come in again for another pit stop for fuel towards the end. But yeah, no real close battles on track, I think. Let's see here at Domi Person. Does has Jasper Smelt behind him, I think, but Jasper also came in for repairs, I think, and is trying to unlap himself. So what's the race you have going on tomorrow?
I'm racing at Racing Line, which is like our big endurance rival, at least from the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be full of aliens, so it's going to be fun and tough.
Is it an actual like endurance race or a sprint race?
It's a 2-hour race, but solo.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah, that'll be tough. So what car are you driving?
The Honda.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
market. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been messaged by Jordan and Thomas, who were both driving the Honda. So both seem really unhappy about what happened to them at the start, especially since both did a decent job this week of practicing for this. Of course, it's many hours that they had to put in to show performance on this level. So of course, very disappointing for them.
Yeah, exactly. I think if I remember correctly, Wansink qualified in 3rd and Arensman in 4th, or the other way around.
Yes, the other way.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. With a messy start that we had, it will definitely be very disappointing for them, because it is one of those things when you put in that time throughout the week and you think you're like very prepared, you're ready for the race, and then pretty much someone else takes all that practice away from you. That is very demotivating.
Yeah, that's the worst pain in racing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it's racing, I guess. It's you can do as much as you like for yourself for practice, but you still have to rely on the other drivers, and in some cases that's unfortunate. But
Yeah.
that's part of it.
You kind of forget it sometimes when you practice that everything, all the time you put it now will be so insignificant compared to the only hour that the race will last, which is where all the important stuff will come. So lots of people practice without a specific intention, and it often happened to me in the past where I was always faster in practice and not in qualifying and race. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things, and I mean, likewise as well, I think there's a lot of people that probably have done their hot laps and their practice, but then have been on the track for themselves for all of their practice, so they're not used to how... for instance, turn 1, that's a very good example here at Monza. If turn 1 on lap 1 is just like a big accordion effect, and you have to really take it easy into turn 1, especially if you're at the back, and that's one of those things you can't really practice on unless you practice on some public servers, or even with some AI, I think would also be good practice for that.
Yeah, there is always some little details like how late can I brake if I'm on the inside of a turn, or how brake should I brake at the start, or things like that, which are sometimes forgotten about in people's practice. In general, as sim racers tend to concentrate a bit too much on the pure pace and not enough on the rest.
Yeah, and it's one of those things as well I've noticed. It's like in sim racing, it seems to happen quite a bit, especially in ACC, that a lot of people seem to forget that their tires and brakes are cold on the first couple of turns of the first lap, and that's where a lot of mistakes happen, where people have practiced their braking point and they're like, oh, I can brake at the, let's say, 125 meter mark, but then obviously with the cold brakes it's going to be like 25 meters more or whatever.
But yeah, as you talked about the accordion, this is the one that makes you, you cannot expect to brake your normal braking point at all during the starts, because it's like on the highway. If something special happens on the side of the highway and people start looking at it, then and slowing down, then it creates a wave that can last 1 hour, even when the thing that was interesting on the side of the highway is then gone.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you know it's gonna happen, and you have to anticipate it before it happens. If it happens and you didn't expect it, then you're gonna mess up. You always have to anticipate it happening, especially on a track like Monza, where turn 1 is such a high speed you're coming into it that very dangerous. But in the meanwhile, taking a look back at the front here, Marcus Lawrence has managed to gap Chmielewski here by 9.5 seconds or so. Doesn't seem to be struggling with the tires this time around, so that's a plus. Monza obviously not a very abrasive track, so those tires should be fine on the Honda this time around.
Is this Chmielewski? I'm very sorry for the pronunciation. Is this his first race? Because I don't remember seeing his name before.
Adam Chmielewski is his. He did do last season, I think. He did last season, and he was actually, I want to say he was one of the better drivers, but I think he didn't have time to do the full season, so he kind of dropped out, I think, in the middle of the season, and this is his first race back this season. So, but yeah, he has driven with us, and he's always put up this decent pace. I think he was always battling with a German driver in the Audi. I forget his name now. He's also not racing at the moment with us, but yeah, he's usually pretty decent. He usually drives the Porsche though, not the Lambo.
Okay, I was gonna say it's very good performance to split the Hondas in the very first race of the season.
Yeah, exactly, because else it would have been another Honda 123 at Monza. But yeah, it was really good to see, and with a less obvious car pick being the Lambo.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see those on track.
And also Samuel Falkenberg is on for his second podium, I believe. I believe he put a podium in at Bathurst, or did he crash at the last minute? I can't quite remember.
Oh man, yeah, I'm also not able to recall that, but yeah, Falkenberg, he's one of those guys that just seems to is able to anticipate and avoid all the chaos that happens in front of him. Because he's done it a couple times now where he starts a bit further back, but then manages just through, I mean, I guess being safe, he manages to get in the top 5, and now, yeah, looking good for that top 3. Obviously, still 50 minutes to go, so we could see stuff changing around, but currently on pace, he is looking decent. And obviously with Jordan Wansink and Arnsman not there to pressure him, he has I think a pretty clean run to a podium today.
But now is really a critical time for him in the race, because when you don't have anyone around like he has at the moment, it's very easy to kind of give up in some way and become unfocused and make a big mistake.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the thing about Monza is as well, everything is at such a high speed most of the time that if you do make a mistake, you're usually gonna end up in the wall somewhere. But yeah, looking good so far, keeping his composure, and we'll see if he can hold on to this until the end. But looking good so far.
Domi Persson is coming on the back of Lambert to unlap himself.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. So Domi already made his first pit stop, and a couple of people in front of him as well. Rajovic, Davenport, Dijkstra all have come in for the pit stop. So obviously anyone that pits now will be good to run till the end. Yeah, I was earlier looking at Peter Parnell, who's also putting a really good performance in so far.
Indeed.
He's I think he started around P15 and managed to already make his way up to, I want to say after the pit stop he'll come out in 8th position, 7th, 8th perhaps.
Yep, looks like it.
So yeah, doing a really good job here. I think if he keeps this up, this will be his best finish for the season as well so far. So yeah, it does seem, and especially with the pit stops coming in now, the field has spread out a bit. No big battles going on anywhere.
Lambert is pitting.
Alright, that is good to see. You would think that, I mean, I assume Marcus, for instance, will be looking to cut the stint in half. 45 minutes perhaps.
Yeah, that would be the logical choice.
Because I don't think, I mean, I don't think you would. It's a free strategy, right? So, what do you think the strategy would be? Is it always to take tires in 1.5 hours of racing? Or yeah.
Just the time loss on the old tires is just not worth keeping them on.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing now with Marcus. He'll have to try and split this stint in half, or even extend it a little bit, so that he doesn't suffer from his tires too much in the race. But again, Monza not too bad on the tires, so I don't expect any issues with that for him today. So a lot of the drivers have come into pit. We still see the top 4 at the moment hasn't come in yet, so that's Lawrence, Chmielewski, Falkenberg, and Parnell still having to pit this race, but I think we will probably see those coming out soon.
Wozaric and Lambert were having a battle and they actually had contact. Looks like it's probable that Lambert came out of the pits right behind Wozaric.
Yeah, I'm gonna... I just switched to them when that happened, so I'm gonna pull up the replay here and take another look at it. So on that, the very long bend here, coming into the chicane. Oh, so, okay, so Wozaric very late on the brakes, or Lambert was very early on the brakes, one of the two. But Wozaric just tried up the inside and hopped the curb on the inside and then straight into Lambert. Obviously, if you hit one of those sausage curbs in the chicanes, not much you can do. You're a passenger in the car from that point on.
No, he's saying sorry in the chat, so I think he just probably outbraked himself, and sadly made the decision of taking the inside, while he should have probably went to the outside in that situation to avoid hitting his opponent.
Yeah, definitely. That's a bit of a misjudgment there from Wozaric, but at least he shows some sportsmanship by already apologizing, so that's good to see. See here, so yeah, Marcus Lawrence and Adam Chiralewski now coming into the pit, so like we thought, Lawrence splitting the stint directly in half. And he's coming out of the pit now, but obviously his direct challenger is Chmielewski, so Lawrence doesn't have anything to worry about at the moment. And does come out in a lot of clean air here, Lawrence. I think at least about a 10-15 second gap in front of him, so a lot of clean air to work with, which will be good for him. Alright, so interesting to see now. Only a couple of drivers still yet to make their pit. Parnell being in third at the moment. He has to still go in. Then we have Daryl Hill as well in 10th and Fonseca in 20th. But I think Fonseca isn't racing. Maybe he is.
No, he tried. I saw him in the pits way earlier.
Yeah, he started the race from the pit, so that was very curious. And he is 10 laps behind, so I think maybe some technical difficulties for him at the start of the race, and now just lapping around, having some fun, I think.
Chmielewski has actually lost 7 seconds during that pit stop.
Oh wow, yeah. Look at that. 16 seconds behind now. Wow. That is a very big time loss for Chmielewski there. That's... I mean, that must have been a very bad pit entry or something.
Probably missed his pit box a slight bit, and his mechanics had to lift him back onto the correct position.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta give it to the ACC mechanics. They're very strong, lifting up cars all the time and pulling them to the box. It's Pettit now coming into the pit. Parnell also now coming into the pit, so like to keep an eye on him as he misses his pit box a little bit as well there. I see he had to back up a little bit, so don't know how big of a time loss that will be, but... Meanwhile, Lambert in 5th place here, with Wozaric right behind him. So yeah, this will be the closest battle here. Lambert and Vozarek still going at it between each other. Going into T1. Ooh, looks like Lambert outbraked himself a little bit there.
Oh, and once again, breaking himself again in that chicane.
Yeah, I mean, make that mistake once, but twice and in the exact same way, just outbreaking yourself into that corner. You should have probably be learning from that. Obviously, it is an endurance race, which I guess can kind of be a tiny bit of a excuse to why you lose some concentration under braking or whatever, but still, you want to avoid those, especially if you're that far back. And in the meanwhile, disaster for Peter Parnell now, as he's gotten a stop and go.
Oh no.
So again, must have done something in the pit stop to earn that. Maybe went off his pit limiter a bit too soon or whatever. It's bad pit entry. And yeah, that's gonna be a disaster for him. That's gonna see him drop back a lot of positions while he was looking so good. And he's already lost. He already lost so much positions from the pit stop itself as well. So I think he lost about about 3-4 positions from that pit stop. So,
yeah. Really sad for him, but I guess he'll end up on the back there one day.
That's a shame. But only one more person here that needs to pit. Daryl Hill has a bit of damage on the front of his car there, so hopefully he'll get that fixed when he comes into the pit. Might be losing a little bit of time because of that. But so far he seems to be happy to just continue on. Does seem at this point, I mean, his last couple of laps being 54s, high 53s, and his best lap being a 51.9, it does seem that he's struggling quite a bit. Maybe with that damage or tires or whatever it might be, but at this point you might think then that it's time for him to come in and just get the car all sorted out.
It's very interesting that he is managing. Oh wait, no, cancel that. I was gonna say he must be already quite tight on fuel, but he should have another 10 minutes left in the tank if he took full fuel at the start.
Yeah, he should be fine, but yeah, again, I think he's at this point he's just losing time by not pitting probably. So yeah, we'll see when he comes into the pit, or if there's anything happening further back. Yeah, it seems as well that one of the cars here, and interestingly enough, Ryan Daniels, who had heavy damage from the start, I thought would have repaired his car, but that hood on the front is still loose, so
Oh,
has opted to not take any repairs, which
interesting.
I can't imagine this is gaining him any time by not taking repairs.
Yeah, I tend to think the same thing.
Obviously we don't know, but it could have also been a mistake, maybe not take the repair option and just forget about it, but yeah, he must be losing a lot of time just driving around damaged like this. So interestingly enough now, Domi Person here getting lapped by the leader, Marcus Lawrence, so that means only the top 8 is still on the lead lap. Well, so Justin Dijkstra is the last person to be on the lead lap, and the rest has already been lapped by Lawrence, so Obviously, that's a bit of a result from the turn 1 pileup that we had. So we do have some. We have Hager, I think it is, in the chat, on the Twitch chat, and he's saying his wheelbase crashed, so that's why he dropped out of the race. Which, man, that's really really unlucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can already see what kind of carnage this was, because I think we started the race with 28 cars and we're down to 19, I think. Or yeah, Miguel Fonseca is actually the last car. So it's a shame because it was a bit of a higher attendance round, but I'm sure the admin team will have to have a good look at the first lap and
Indeed, that's going to be one big job.
yeah. As Venter now goes past Fonseca again, I think Fonseca is just having a nice drive around. He's just enjoying himself, doing some laps. Yeah, so the battles have kind of petered out. One battle we do have, I think, is I wanted to say it was Ryan Daniels and Deploy, but it seems like Ryan Daniels made a mistake somewhere. He's down 2 seconds on his last lap. But yeah, again, I don't think Daniels is doing himself any favors with that damage.
Chmielewski is actually making up some ground on Marcus Lawrence.
Yeah, so interesting to see that towards the end of this race, Chmielewski's actually speeding up a little bit compared to Lawrence. So
can we compare their fastest laps?
Their fastest lap. So Marcus Lawrence was a 48.0, and Chmielewski was a 48.4.
Okay.
So it is interesting to see that that Marcus is so far down on his fastest lap compared to Chmielewski.
Indeed. He might be holding back a bit because he has such a big lead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe he's learned from Silverstone that he maybe should try and save the tires a little bit. Even though that Monza isn't bad on the tires, but yeah, I think he was really disappointed in himself, I think, with last race.
Yeah, I can imagine that if I was in his position, losing the race you led the whole time at the very last moment. Always hard.
Yeah, I was talking about it earlier as well. I think it was one of the one of the worst cases of tire wear I've seen on the game so far, because it literally looked like his car was on ice the entire time. Like the last 20 or so minutes, it just looks like the car was skating around on ice.
Yeah. Obviously the rain tires are much softer compound, so when you have to run them out of their temperature window like we had to do, because this was intermediate territory, but there is no intermediate tires in ACC,
yeah,
so
exactly.
The wet tires were overheating like crazy, and that makes them wear out rather catastrophically. So
yeah, it is one of those things where I don't know how you feel about this, but it almost seems like, and I could be wrong, because again, I'm not a real racing driver and I don't know how to judge this, but with medium rain, it seems, I mean, at least I feel so, that sometimes there's a bit too much like rain that gets cleared by the cars. I could be wrong about this, but it seems that, like, if you, because we had about, I want to say 24, 25 cars on Silverstone, but with medium rain you wouldn't think that the tires would struggle that much with heat, but it seems like that dry line with about 20 or so cars running, that forms like fairly quickly.
Yes, there was this dry line, and even without as many people on the track, like the conditions we had in practice, it was already overheating. And above that, the Honda really likes to work its rear tires hard and overheat them a lot. Even in the dry, it's an issue. So
that's
there was all
why
the
I'm
right.
thinking. Oh
Sorry.
yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm saying that to conclude, all the wrong ingredients were mixed together to make the tire situation quite bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, would the in real life would the track also clear that fast of the water? Would it be that big of an issue? Because I feel it might be less of an issue in real life that it like clears so massively. I guess you could say. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I understand you, but I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to be able to compare the two accurately.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
obviously, it's always kind of hard to judge. I think kind of medium rain at some tracks can be quite bad in terms of like wetness, but then on other tracks it's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah, there is also that. And track temperature can also have an influence, because if it's cold, then it takes a lot longer to dry.
Yeah, for sure.
But looks like with the latest update, the wet driving line has been updated. So now the rubbery part of the track will be a lot more slippery than before. And so now finally it's possible that we have to actually adapt our line more in the rain, because
really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that they worked on that.
Because previously, yes, you had some puddles in some places, and you had to avoid the curbs, but basically you could run the normal line everywhere, and that's what was fastest.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be that's gonna be really interesting then, because yeah, that'll be another factor that drivers will have to think of then, and it's gonna be interesting to see how everyone's gonna form their lines then if there's a wet race. But obviously, I do assume it still will be a case of, for that effect to really come in, I assume it still has to be a case of where you've already been running on the track for quite a bit, and then it rains.
Sadly not, because the system is not dynamic. It's not like the water is simulated. The rain is actually simulated falling down on the track, but it's kind of scripted.
Yeah, so basically you will then for sure have to like always run the wet line. There's no like...
Not really, because it could be multiple levels of wetness, which sometimes you have to run this line, sometimes another line. It's also possible. But yeah, it's not like in real life.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I think Ryan Daniels just retired as well, as I saw him go into a barrier there. So I think he pulled out as well. He was driving the Audi this time. Or, I don't know, he decided to go with the Audi for now, but yeah, end up in the barrier. But please continue.
Yeah, I mean, like in real life, if some cleaning truck passes by and drops a bit of oil in a place which is, and you, even if you cannot see it by the eye, the track is always changing yeah, so it's always changing basically on 2 different days. When it's wet, the line is probably not going to be exactly the same.
Yeah. No, that is true. But yeah, it'll be yeah, I'm looking forward to have like a proper wet race then, to see how much it's changed then.
Yep, me too.
Is that yeah, it's one of those things that's It's one of the things as well with I know our Factor does the same thing basically, that there's no real like benefit from running a wet line, so. And I think games like F1 and stuff, even though F1 isn't like an all-out simulator, it also just has like the dry line you pretty much run in the wet as well for the best speed. But yeah, it's good to see that the game implemented that then. But yeah, 27 minutes ago is a very quiet race, and yeah, it does seem that Chmielewski in his last lap made a little bit of a mistake here, because he's lost about 3 seconds. So yeah, again, props for him for driving the Lambo, but I've driven it before and it's not easy. Very much I think it reminds me of the Honda a bit, driving style, but I feel it's a bit even like more nervous than the Honda. It's not less stable than the Honda, I think.
Indeed. With a good setup, it becomes perfectly drivable though.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I've only been able to test the default setups because obviously I'm very bad at making setups. So.
Really? I didn't know that.
No, I usually, anytime I do racing, I usually drive like default setups, unless I can like get a setup from someone. So I know the basics, like do the tire pressures, the aero, like the camber and that kind of stuff. But like when it goes into like the rebounds and like the bump stops and everything, like I have no clue what to do. So for simple cars, I'm fine, but yeah, if there's a lot of options like on ACC, then I'm a bit lost on what to do. Because it's also one of those things where I think ACC is one of the first games where the wing actually doesn't change your top speed too much compared to other games.
Yeah.
Because like, I know for our Factor at least, like nearly every car you have to run with almost zero wing to get like decent speed out of it.
Yeah, it was like that in Pro Cars as well, at least Pro Cars 1.
Yeah, and like ACC is one of the few, well, I think the only one at the moment that doesn't actually make that much of a difference. It does a little bit, but not too much. It's mainly for, I think the wing in this is mainly just for stability, right? You don't...
Not really, but it's true that the top speed is not really hurt, but it's not hurt too much by the wing, but at some tracks it's still important to... You still have to lower it down, like Monza, Spa, and Bathurst, but that's really about it. Both sort of tracks in this game, you need to run full wing if you want to be fast.
Yeah.
Because if you take a track like Silverstone, yes, your acceleration on the straight will be faster, but there's so many exits that are guided by a fast corner that at the end of the day, if you want, yeah, it even makes you faster at the first part of the straight if you have high wind, so it kind of balances out the positive of that.
All right. Yeah. I've already said when if I eventually get back into racing a lot, or like in the league or something, I've already decided that I would probably buy the like the setups from the Coach Dave Academy thing or something, that I don't have to worry about the setups.
Yeah, that's also something, but if it only works up to a certain level, but because when you get near to the top, then you have to get into setups to win, because then it gives an extra edge to everyone else that you don't have. That you cannot make the car. You cannot make the car fit your own driving style. Yeah. For example, if you have a teammate, even if on driving, pure driving, you are as fast as him, if you can set up the car to what he likes and you can't, then you will be slower.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's one of those things I wish I could do that, but like for me personally, I don't really have the aspiration to like compete so highly in sim racing. So for me, it's like as long as I have like a decent base setup, then I'm good to go. You know, I don't have to be like ultra competitive. So when I'm doing racing, I guess as long as I have like a decent setup that can make some decent speed, then I'm happy.
Yeah, I went kind of the opposite way in sim racing, so I was a decent setupper before I was a decent racer.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, I was always fascinated by this stuff and all the options and.
I was a bad setupper before sim racing, and still a bad setupper. That's good. But yeah, it's yeah, it is one of the things, and again, like you know, setups are very much a personal thing in the end, because I still remember when I think you invited me for Bathurst, right? Not this, the one we just did, but like the
Yeah.
one before that. And with the Ferrari, like your setup, for instance, I couldn't make it work for me. Like it's
Yeah.
such a yeah, you have like a very specific driving style, I think, where you're like your car is very active, I feel, most of the time, where you can like you make like, I don't know, maybe it just feels like that, but it seems like you would like make a lot of corrections mid corner and stuff.
Yes, so to be honest, now if I will drive that setup again, I will find it complete shit as well. But at the time, I was basically driving super oversteer setups and compensating by turning the wheel too hard in the corners to make the car understeer. And that was okay because at the time the tires were okay with that. And
Okay.
then a patch came out which made it more like real life. If you scrub the tires too much, especially when they are cold, then you get graining.
Yeah.
And so I started being like 1 second, 2 seconds slower at the end of the scenes because of that. And I had to change my driving style, at least avoid doing that extra steering thing. And yeah, now when we compare telemetry with Marcus, for example, we can see that the main difference is that Marcus tends to carry a lot more speed in the apex, where I'm much more focused on the exit. So
Okay.
I basically brake right up to the apex, turn the car as much as I can to get the straight exit and slam it.
Yeah.
With basically no mid corner, while his mid corners tend to go a bit longer.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, again, that shows just like a, I guess, a difference in driving style between you two.
Yeah, and to finish up, you said about the making correction all the time when I'm turning. It's because I'm basically trail braking much later than, for example, Marcus. So
Yeah.
of course, if I'm trail braking, then I have more weight in the front
Yeah.
and the car is slightly it's a bit not oversteering, but like in between oversteer and understeer, where it's like neutral steer. Where
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I know the feeling you're talking about. Like you're basically correcting your steering together with your braking, almost like a balance between the two to make it to
Yeah,
the corner.
yeah, and the car is turning even though the wheel is almost straight.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the end of the day, I think both styles can work well on. Even though they are so different, they can produce the same times at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's even like, even if you look at the real racing series, you know, like sometimes you see not on all tracks, but on some tracks you see, you know, drivers that are similar speeds take some like different lines into corners or do their braking differently, and they still end up with around the same times and stuff. So
Yep.
really shows that like different driving styles can all work. There's no real one right way to do racing. But yeah, it does seem now that all the battles have kind of well, with so many people leaving, most of the battles are done and over with. So I think for most of these guys, it's just a calm 17 minutes until the end here.
Well, Hill is once again behind the wall.
Ah, yes, okay.
There is a hill behind that wall.
Yes. Yeah, so let's see, compare the lap time. So last lap for Daryl was a 57, so must have been a little bit of a mistake there. But Wall, both of their laps, Hill has done a faster lap than Wall, so yeah, this might become interesting here. But again, I want to say Hill picked up some damage somewhere, because seems like he's losing a bit of time through the corners now. Could be wrong, but about halfway through the lap and he's already lost 7/10 on his best lap, so must have got another bit of damage, because I do think he fixed his car in the pit stop, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gets a good run through Ascari there, while Wall gets a bad one. And that'll actually allow Hill to close up here.
Yep, and now he's in the slipstream.
Yep, so let's see. Bit wide going into Parabolica. That'll make him get a decent exit. So it seems that they both left in about the same speed through the corner there, both.
Why is this slowing down?
That's a weird one.
Oh, letting blue flag car through.
Okay. Yeah, that was strange for a second, but makes sense now. Okay, so that battle will be paused momentarily, but once Wall has to let that car through.
Yeah, let's see if Wall is so eager to give the place early, because now he can get quite an advantage on Hill, because Hill was lost a lot of time lifting early through that straight.
Yeah, I mean, I've already praised Hill quite a lot on the streams, because he's one of the guys who usually runs towards the back, but I don't think I've ever seen him quit a race before, and
Wow.
he's always like very gentlemanly about everything, so he's pretty good at letting people through. But yeah, even if he makes mistakes and stuff, and even if he's all the way at the back, he still finishes every race, so I think that's like quite a nice, or quite commendable from someone. I don't think there's many people like that.
Yeah, props to him.
Alright, so... Oh, Wall actually I don't know.
Wow.
Did he just completely outbrake himself there? Or was that
Looks like it.
Was that maybe a choice from him? But surely that can't be, because he lost so much time doing that. Oh, again, Daryl Hill will be pretty close again to Wall here. 13 minutes left for Hill to make a move here. Alright, so our last pit stop of the day for Miguel Fonseca. I think, wait, is he actually serving the pit stop, or, yeah, seems like it.
He's been doing his own race in quarantine in honor of the coronavirus.
Yeah. That's just how that's like his only moment of pleasure when he comes in, does a couple of laps, and then pulls into the pit again.
Oh!
Oof. Wow, Daryl Hill there, shaky moment. So this explains, I guess, why he's struggling a little bit to pull up the wall. He's also again has that little bit of damage, but oh man, he is looking like he's burning up those rear tires chasing wall here. Let's take a quick look at the front again. Marcus Lawrence about 23 seconds ahead, I think, at the moment. Again, looking comfortable in the Honda. Good start there. Lost the lead for about half a lap, I think, to Chmielewski, but after that, just clean run away. And even though Adam was picking up speed halfway through the second stint, it doesn't seem like he actually can keep that up, as it does seem that Marcus Lawrence has also picked up the pace a little bit towards the end here on low fuel.
Yeah, he's been pulling away rapidly from P2.
Yeah, it will be obviously interesting to see how Chmielewski gets back into it, because again, this is his first race in about, I think, 8 races or so, maybe he's a bit under-practiced. Maybe he can come back stronger for the next race and challenge. Well, obviously he'll have you to challenge as well then, I think.
Yep, should be.
But, and hopefully, of course, we don't see people like Wansink and Aronsman and stuff drop out at the front as well, so that we can get some good battles up front.
Indeed.
And Daryl Hill has now dropped even further back from wall. So yeah, Daryl Hill, I think, ultimately does have the pace, but not quite the consistency to catch up to wall.
And Vozarik is getting closer to Lambert again.
Oh yeah, well spotted. So yeah, Vozarik. Last lap was a 54, but I think he has been slowly making his way. Also a bit of a lap traffic, as he now has Marcus Lawrence behind him that he'll get the blue flags for. But Lambert there must have made a mistake, because his car is looking very beat up, that McLaren of Lambert in 5th. A lot of damage on the front there. Must have made a mistake somewhere, but this again will be one of those tricky situations where Vozarik has to let the leader through. Same with Lambert. But Vozarik getting a good run here. Ooh.
Oh, that was that close.
Again, almost outbreaks himself into Lambert. Let's see here. Surely Vozarik will have to let Marcus Lawrence through here. Ooh, this is a bit controversial now. He is gonna slow down, okay. Marcus Lawrence now behind Lambert, but yeah, Lambert definitely struggling with the damage there. Will now also have to let Marcus Lawrence through. See if
Yeah,
that happens. It does.
let's see how much he will have to lift.
Yeah, surely Vozovic has a really good run now. To try something here? No. Ooh, again, really close.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
And now he's right in the slipstream for the straight. Let's see if the Ferrari is quick enough on the straight.
Yeah, I know I could be mistaken, but isn't the McLaren struggles also a bit on the straight line speed, right?
Yeah, both cars are not really good with that. And now he's ready to get a run.
Oh, nice. Nice braking there by Lambert.
Yep.
Keeping in front of him. 6 minutes to go here, so a couple more laps for Vozovic to try something here, and let's see if he can actually get a move done cleanly.
Yep.
Oh, very good run here for Vozovic. Again, looking to the inside. Alongside him now, side by side. Lambert has to concede there. Good move by Vozovic. Yeah, very nice. Now the question is, of course, can Lambert hold on? But I think he's struggling too much with his damage. That's what it seems like, at least. But maybe he'll find that extra gear towards the end here, and as long as he can keep in that slipstream range, he might be able to challenge Vozovic again. Oh, very wide now, Lambert. Yeah, immediately, Vozovic immediately has quite a gap formed here, almost a second already, so I think he will pull away now from Lambert. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, he should have it in the bag.
Yeah. So, yeah, I might be mistaken, but I think this is the first podium position for Falkenberg this season.
Yep, or ever, because I think he crashed out in that Bathurst race.
Ah, yeah.
He was, yep.
Yeah, true. So, we'll see if we can get him in for an interview, maybe after the race, because I'm sure he'll be really happy.
Yep.
Does now have Martin de Knecht on his rear there, but yeah, I think he just overtook him, so should be fine there. And with about 4.5 minutes to go, I think that will finish up most of our battles here. Unless you see a battle somewhere, Vincent, but I think we're all
not
out.
at the moment. Yep.
Yeah.
Should we go on board the leader for one lap?
Yep, sure thing. Coming through Ascari here. Bit wide there on the exit.
That's okay, he won't lose too much time doing that.
Yeah.
The gravel here is not too bad.
I doubt he'll lose 30 seconds running over the gravel, so... Alright, let's go on board here.
So 49.0. It's probably in the cruise mode by now.
Yeah, I think so as well. And honestly, like we've seen so far, it is better to just, you know, lose those 3-4 tenths maybe over a lap compared to someone like Chmielewski, who's been able to put in faster laps than Marcus throughout the race, but hasn't quite had the consistency to close up on him. And yeah, at this point, Marcus just, I think, taking it easy towards the end, bringing it home.
Yep.
You should again spice up the championship standings, I think, seeing that you didn't have your race today, so
Yeah. And I have to watch out because Marcus is really good with the Honda in general.
yeah, I've noticed that he's really really been comfortable. Does seem we haven't gotten the white flag call yet, so I assume we'll have one more lap after this one.
It looks like it. I really slow down to shorten the race.
Yeah, let's see here.
Oh. Yep, the race is over.
Cool. Alright, so first place here for Marcus Lawrence, well deserved, as one of the few survivors of the race. Chmielewski now coming through Parabolica as well. Meanwhile, we've had Vazarik in 5th, Lambert in 6th. Parnell with a disappointing finish there, 12th. It could have been quite a bit higher. Venter and Reeve also finishing there. And then Falkenberg is quite a bit back. We've now seen Davenport also come across the line in 7th. Last time through Ascari here for Falkenberg. And he'll probably be ecstatic here coming through Parabolica towards the finish line. Rojovic about 20 or so seconds behind him. But Falkenberg coming out of the last turn here up towards the finish line with the new Ferrari Evo. There we go, so very nicely done by Falkenberg there. Well deserved.
Yep. Congratulations to him.
And waiting for one more finisher here, or two more actually. Rojovic and Hill. Hill has now come across the line, and Rojovic will be our last finisher of the day. There we go. Also a nice 4th place for Rojovic there. He's really he's been quite consistent actually, Rojovic, throughout the season. Done a really good job finishing around like the top 5 or something. So
Yeah, indeed.
alright, let's see now if there's anyone we can get anyone in. Let's
I think we need to get the entire podium at least.
yeah, let's get Marcus Lawrence in. Hello, Marcus.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, Vincent
So-
has some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, good job on the win. How hard did you have to push?
Not much at all, to be honest. At the start, yeah, I did. Because, what was his name? Chmielewski? I'm going to murder that name. He was holding on for the first few laps, but as soon as I got into a rhythm, I did pull away.
Yep. I was seeing the lap times at the end were like in the 49s, or yeah, 1 second slower than the lap times at the start. So I was wondering if you were actually pushing or not.
I tried to push for the few laps, but the second stint was a lot slower. I don't know why. Like as soon as I come out the pits, I actually felt that the tires are not as grippy as they were before the new patch.
Okay.
They take a lot more time to build up the pressure in the heat, and it was quite sketchy for the first few laps. And then as soon as they were up to temp and pressure, they felt amazing again. I did push for the first few laps after my second pit stop, but I couldn't get anywhere near my time. I think the track may have got hotter, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I was easily doing like low 48s at the first stint, and I could barely do mid 48s, I think, in the second. So I'm not really sure what happened.
Okay. Well, at least it looks like the overcut might be getting a lot more powerful now, if the tires take a lot longer to work when you come
Yeah,
out
for
of the pit.
sure. You used to get like instant grip from the new tires, but not now. They're a little bit more sketchy in the first few laps. So yeah, I think an overcut would work a bit better now.
All right, cool. Anyway,
Thank-
congratulations on that first place, and you will be closing up to Vincent in the standing, so that's
Hey.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Cheers. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think we have Chmielewski in
No.
the Discord, so we'll pull Falkenberg in. Hello, Mr. Falkenberg.
Hello, Mr. Husky.
Congratulations on your
yeah.
first podium, I think.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Like I had a
Congrats.
break, just came back, really good race.
Was that your first podium ever in the league?
Oh, I don't know. I think maybe the Silverstone race, like the first race we had last season.
Could be.
I think I was P3 or P4, not 100% sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, but this was, went also quite well. So
But anyway, I don't know. I didn't remember quite what position you started in, but it seems like you managed to avoid all the chaos that was happening.
oh yeah,
One.
like we also already had a lot of chaos in the formation lap. I saw at least 2 people crashing on the formation lap. And then I was on the outside. I think I started P6, and then Ahrensman got crashed from behind and spun on my right side, and I decided to not take the first chicane and just take the evasion road and just go ahead and wait so I don't get a big advantage. But still, I think I managed to avoid a lot of carnage there.
Yeah, that was a smart move to make.
Yeah, definitely. Like I had no place on the right side, like I couldn't turn in without crashing into him, so I had no other option than going straight ahead and then just wait and let everyone pass at least.
And
Yeah, and then I had a really close fight with a Ferrari and a Lexus. The Ferrari binned it in Ascari at some point, I don't know why, I think he just lost it. And I had a really close race with the Lexus for 3 to 4 laps, had to defend all the time. Think he lost his braking point in T1 at some point and just got straight ahead.
was it Wozarik?
I think so, I'm really bad with names.
Okay.
But still a good race, clean racing overall, like really good, I'm really happy.
Yeah, and I think you're one of the only ones driving one of the Evo versions now. I think. You
Oh
switched
yeah,
over,
I
right?
love it.
And,
How different does it feel?
It's really good on the exit. Suddenly you are faster on the exit than other cars, it's like really, really good.
Oh,
The damper setup still sucks, as you know, Vincent. It's
okay.
impossible to get in balance.
Yeah.
But it feels really good. Like it has a lot more front downforce grip and it's really good on the exit, and you can actually match other cars in top speed. So really, really good improvement to that car.
Okay, just curious, have you been running softest rear springs for Monza?
Oh, soft as fuck. I think it's 1 click away from the softest. Yeah,
Okay.
like the softest possible option, and really stiff front, and only 1 click and wing.
Okay.
all right. Well, again, very well done today. Congratulations with that podium, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to the next race.
Cool. So
Yeah.
I think that will be the interviews for today. Again, if anyone wants to join our league, be sure to check us out at pcdc.simstrata.com. You'll get the info and on there, and there'll be a link to our Discord as well. We can also be found on Grid Finder, and we work together with Simstrata for our website, so be sure to check them out as well. And then all I can say here is goodbye from me and Vincent, and we'll see you next week at, let's take a quick look at the calendar again. Should be the Nürburgring.
Yep, looking forward to that.
All right, cool. So until next week, goodbye.
Bye bye.